Hi, I'm Chris Haigh and this is the Fiddle channel, and today we're going to look at Drowsy Maggie and pay particular attention to the string crossing pattern, which is an important feature of this tune. Now, the opening phrase of this is an important kind of phrase because this string crossing idea works a lot in E minor and in D minor. And there's a lot of tunes such as The Gravel Walk, The Morning Dew, The Mountain Road, Providence Reel, Wheels of the World and so on, which use this kind of pattern. And it's a really good idea to have an idea of how you're going to bow this type of phrase. So I'm going to go through various different options for the bowing. But first of all, I'll show you the basic melody. And I'm going to use my favourite bowing, but to start with, don't worry about the bowing. And with the opening phrase, put your first finger down and your first finger on the E and on the B, so that as you rock backwards and forwards, when third finger goes on, the first is already staying where it is. This is slightly unusual in that it's only 16 bars. The first part is 4 bars repeated and the second part is just 8 bars. So let's do it again with the backing. Now let's try the first 2 bars, the rocking section, and I'm going to try it 4 ways. So the first way is all with separate bows. So just try this and see what it feels like. The first thing you notice is that you're starting on a down with the first bar, and the second bar is going to be on an up, which is not ideal because it's the same kind of phrase and you want to have the same kind of phrasing, the same kind of attack from your bow. So the fact that it's changing from a down to an up to a down is a bit awkward. And what I suggest is that you try this separate and try speeding up and see if it feels comfortable. Basically it doesn't feel comfortable to me, and as it gets faster it gets more awkward. So if we try as a second version slurring the notes 2 and 3, then that will give us a down bow at the beginning of each bar. So try that again, starting really slow, gradually speeding up, and see if that feels more comfortable. Next we've got what is my preferred bowing, and that is starting on an up bow, which may seem like a freakish thing to do, but it seems to work. I think the reason it works is that I like the accent to be on the second note. And then I'm slurring an up into the second bar. And to me, as it gets faster, that feels comfortable and it's kind of economic. There is one other way of doing it, and that's what's often referred to as the figure of 8 bowing. And this is slurring the first 2 notes and then the second and then the next 3 notes. So we're starting on a down, and the next one is also a down, so we've achieved that. And if you look at your hand as it's doing that, it is kind of making a figure 8, which is where the name comes from. And that feels quite comfortable, so I would go for either number 3 or number 4 myself. But as I say, try them all, try speeding them all up and see which you think is the best. And then next time you come to another tune with the same kind of pattern, then try applying whatever it is that you've decided is the best one. Let's do it once more, but up to speed. And now let's look at some ornamentation. So we've got some cuts and double cuts and rolls in here. And I do have a video coming up shortly on the cut, explaining what that is. But basically, a double cut is where you precede a melody note with usually the same note as you're about to play, and then another note. In this case, it's 1-3-1, E, G, E. And you always slur into the melody note. Here's another one. And here's a single cut, which means just one note. And here's a roll. So it's 1-3-1, open 1. And you can put a little triplet in there. So let's try that all the way through. 1, 2, 3, 4. Finally, I just want to show you a couple of variations. Some people like to put in a bowed triplet. So a bowed triplet it starts with a down and an up and a down, and it's more of a twitch. It actually comes from a tensing of the muscles, and everyone always says never tense your muscles, but to do a bowed triplet or treble, I think you do need to have a little bit of tension just in this part of the arm. And it won't really work slow, so you have to do that quite fast. The Paddy Killoran version, which I really like, he does a little variation where he goes basically just repeats the same little phrase with a roll. And then Johnny Docherty from Donegal, he has a nice melodic variation. if you ever get bored with a tune, there's always a variation, something like that, which you can put in, which will just turn the whole thing around. Especially if you're playing it solo. If you're playing this in a session with other people, then you really want to be playing the same version that they play. But if you're just doing this either on your own or with an accompanist, then this kind of variation is really helpful. So I hope you've enjoyed this. If you'd like a copy of the dots of all the stuff that I've shown you, then do subscribe and send me an email and I will send them to you. And I look forward to seeing you in the next video. Thank you.